Life is hectic, demanding, and doesn't stop. When honest with ourselves, we must confess we often don't know what the hell we're doing. The Larkcast is an ongoing conversation about the inclusive and mischievous nature of God's presence through the lens of all the things that make up this phenomenon we refer to as life. Astonishing grace and refreshing honesty collide right here for your weekly encouragement.
I could talk about my uncle.
What'd he do?
This is the uncle that, he was a small business owner, and I never really, up until now, had really anything to connect. I didn't, other than I did construction, you own this company, But now it's hey, I'm a small business owner and you've had a lot of experience. I hopped on the phone with him the other day. Anyways, we were talking about all kinds of stuff. He's got the best stories and he's a good storyteller too. At the end of it, he's like, "Hey, how are your kids doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, this one." I'm like, "Anna, she's like, oh," he's like, "Oh, I saw she went to a dance and she plays football or something." Yeah. I go, "Man, it's kind of hard. She's just kind of in that age where she's just wrestling with her body image, and we hang up and he calls back 20 minutes later. And he's always had this theory and he's always said it. He goes, "Maybe you could pass this on to your daughter." He goes, "Fat people are angry people." He's just fat people are angry people. So what you got to do is find out what she's angry about. And when you find out what she's angry about, she'll lose weight like crazy. And this is his dead ass, serious, 100% serious advice for me and for her. He wanted me to pass it on to her.
Bro, you can't make that shit up,
You
man.
can't make it up. You can't make it up.
No. It is funny, man, when you start to just, as you get around the older generation, especially as they get older, and now you've got a couple generations behind us, right, that are so different than even us. And so now that you have experience with way over here, but then you get around experience that's way over here, it's the best. It's just the best, dude.
In the event that my 80-year-old uncle figures out how to hop on, Apple Podcasts and listens to this, I love you, Uncle Rich. Appreciate you, but some of your axioms are a little off.
To find out what she's angry about.
Hey, listen, if you're listening to the Larkcast and you're fat, chances are, 100% chances are, you're an angry person. Have you ever tried identifying what you're angry about? Do that and you're going to lose weight like crazy.
Holy cow, dude. Well, sorry, folks. We were gone for a few weeks on the podcast. Thought we'd come back, do one episode, and just forever lose our audience.
Nah, people are going to love this, especially when they start losing weight. Dude, what if it was leave the conventional institutional church as a weight loss program? Dude,
Yeah.
we could make some money. Here's Jeff, elder, 15 years, stressed out of his mind, fat.
That's that's the trump card. It's there's all these areas in his life. He's got kidney disease. He's gonna have a heart attack at any moment. What really matters is that Jeff is fat.
just fat. And then over here, it's a picture of him, and it's all AI generated, right? Because that's nothing. It can't be a real picture. It has to be all AI. And over on the other side, it's just him kicking it with his family on the beach. He's got a big smile on his face. He's got six pack.
Yep.
His hair's grown back. He's happy.
That would. Oh my gosh! I got a headache. I'm laughing so hard, it gave me a headache.
Dude, this is the kind of content Lark needs to do. You need to get on that.
That would be fun. That would be amazing.
You got to get on it, bro.
Wonder how you could do that. That would be, I would kill it.
Kill it. Yeah.
Oh
And
my
then like
gosh, I literally have
that's
a
how you
headache.
talk about it. Like the whole thing is like leave the conventional church. And obviously we have like our for real reasons that we write about and
Hmm.
podcasts about that are rooted in like real conversations and our stories, but you connect it to the most ridiculous, things ever.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that would be
You
great.
gotta get like that most interesting man in the world voice.
That'll work.
Like that would be like the good like a good voiceover for it.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
once contemplating suicide as he stared at his calendar to look at the elder meeting every day. Jim is now happy on the beach with his family, throwing fetch with his dog,
Yep.
noticing all the looks from the bystanding ladies as they peer upon this massive head full of hair.
Is is that man free? Uh, uh, excuse me, sir. Are you free?
Yeah.
I love it,
And
dude.
then,
And then everyone in the comments is like, this is 100% bullshit. I left the church, felt like a heretic for 3 months in a row. All my family thinks I'm unsaved now. I'm still fat. My hair looks like shit still.
and on top of all that, I'm broke because they took my damn salary.
This
This
might
is
be the
so.
single greatest podcast we've ever done. And it's just the intro.
Oh my. Oh my gosh. All right.
I,
Here we
I
go.
think we're on to something here, dude. This is a real brand strategy for Lark. We're breaking it
I
down
think
right here.
I think
I
it could
should be
work.
getting paid thousands of dollars for this.
Why are you worried about getting fat and losing hair?
Here, we'll do this.
Month.
Let's shift directions here on the most amazing Larkcast episode ever. All Lark's been out what, month and a half?
It's been out a month. Yeah.
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 You getting some good feedback? I know you send me
Maybe,
some stuff
maybe a month and
every
a
once in a
half.
while.
How long has it been?
I don't know. I feel like I've been working on this thing for 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And even when it comes out, I'm like, well, there's 38 things that could have been said different.
Dude, that's it's true of any creative work. Anything. It's
Oh,
never it's never gonna be perfect. You gotta just put it out.
no.
And it's great. I purposely didn't read it until it was done, published, and I could order it. I had advanced copies, and of course I had the PDF because I was designing it, but I purposely did it because I wanted to read it like the full experience, like finished cover, all that. And I'm
Yeah,
a little
man.
bit more than halfway through. I would say about 75% done.
Well, that's pretty
I
good,
think you should
man.
I think you should be proud of it. Um and you there's been some good feedback. You've been sending me some stuff. Anything in
Yeah.
particular? Any feedback in particular that's been encouraging to you?
Um, I would say there's the encouragement that has come from people saying, like, man, some people who were kind of new to the conversation, just being, in a sense, like, wow, I really had no idea that this is like what God is actually like, right? I've always sort of had that perception in the back of my mind is Jesus is almost like a middleman, right? Like he's the nice face of God, and he comes for like a season,
Mary's even
and
nicer.
yeah, yeah. But he's the middleman, and I've always kind of feared like the angry father that was behind him, and as I'm walking through this book, it's like, wait a second, and it's like kind of creeps up on you as you go, right? And you start to realize like, wait, hold on, Jesus is, he is God.
Hmm.
He's fully God. And yes, God is Trinity, right? Father, Son, and Spirit. There's elements of that we can grasp, right? There's aspects of that that are just sort of beyond, right, us.
Yeah.
And so there's the beauty of mystery, right, within that. Um, but when you start to realize, like, yeah, he's showing you what the Father's like, and he's saying, look at me.
Hmm.
And then as you walk through that in these stories, it's like one piece at a time and sort of got pulled out from underneath me, like just one myth that I had after another. So there's like the content encouragement, which has mainly been sort of like the aha of who the Father is, what faith is. And then I would say on like the personal level, I was very nervous about just having like little snippets of my own story throughout the book. It's a lot easier to just write like, hey, here's what the scriptures say, and here's what they mean, and here's why they matter. Next chapter. Here's what the scripture says. Here's what it means. Here's why it matters. Next
Sure.
chapter. But when you start to bring like your own story like into it, so I got some good feedback. People just saying, man, thanks for just being honest. Like I felt like I was like learning something from you, but almost like as someone who's this has been your journey over the past decade. And it felt less like a textbook, more like um, you know, a cheap man's blue like jazz. A poor man's blue like jazz.
I never read that book, and I passed it
Yeah,
in like the height of its popularity.
yeah. If I had to compare the book to anything, I would say it's a poor man's Capon in regards to like a lot of what I've learned over the years. I wanted to take something that was very complex and written from him in a way that I don't feel like any human's ever written
Hmm.
and just make it simple,
Hmm.
clear, and more accessible in a sense.
Yeah.
But then the story element was, I guess, it's where somebody laughed and said it's like a poor man's blue like jazz because it's kind of like it's also snippets of your story, learning this yourself.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
so
It's
yeah,
like
it was encouraging.
I had a couple of people reach out, and they're kind of like they're outside, uninterested. They're not really like familiar with like the conversation in the church or really like the scriptures. And they're like, would this be a good, place for me to start? And I was like, well, Russ is definitely writing with a certain sort of insider knowledge, or an insider sort of, um, perspective.
Hmm.
He's assuming that you know a couple of things, or he's assuming you're assuming a couple of things about God based on probably being a churched individual. I go, but it's a fun read, it's a quick read, and it'll spark a conversation. So, man, pick it up and let's grab a beer, kind of a
Hmm.
thing. But it definitely, if you have attended church, grew up in church, were around it, were familiar with a lot of like these parables, um, it'll it'll definitely make you want to press into those scriptures and into the conversations a little bit more,
Yeah,
and a little bit more in depth. Because who wants to sit here and write a commentary, you know, and
yeah,
dot every I and cross every T and all that. It's definitely, it's like ditch weed a little bit. It's gonna be that gateway drug. You get
yeah,
into
man.
that
Come
that
over here
crack
and
cocaine, a caping. Or I would even say I would say the next step would be if you pick up all of Lark. and then go back to the beginning of the Larkcast and listen to episode, say, 3 or 4 to like 28, because we kicked off the
Yeah.
Larkcast with a bunch of podcasts on the parables themselves, and we get a little bit deeper into that and also share our stories and our journeys of like rethinking good news and what the Father's like. That would be a great next step after all of our
Yeah, man. It's a it's a good quick hitter, right?
good quick hitter, dude.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's try to keep it simple, readable. And I have had a number of people, even reach out and say they would totally and have handed it to neighbors because they're like, man, who in America, even if you didn't go to right to a formalized church, if you've grown up in the West, you've grown up around this conversation of, good cop, bad cop idea of God and Jesus.
Sure.
Faith is about performance, right? It comes with pressure. This whole thing is about you, becoming something more than you are for God. I'm just saying, like, those elements are, you can pretty much find those anywhere.
Sure. Yeah, they're baked
And
in. I'm just
yeah.
saying the
But yeah, if you're like an atheist or, if you're strict agnostic and you're not, familiar with anything, like, was this like, you know, an, an evangelistic, right? Book for, for that conversation, I would say no.
yeah.
No, it's, it allows, it allows you to definitely grab onto what's true and good, I think, in a simple way, but it definitely carries with it the someone who's experienced, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
religion in some fashion.
Well, and it's true to your story, you know, like, Tommy kind of,
Yeah.
having the conversation with Jesus when you were younger. You didn't really plug into the church world until you were an adult, and then just kind of got right into leadership. It's like you're sort of like your journey
Yeah.
away from this, not necessarily being like a youth group kid, but like a pastor as an adult. So if you haven't bought it, go buy it. Buy
Yeah.
multiple copies. Um, it looks good on the shelf too.
It does look good on the shelf, I will say that. And maybe that's where it peaks, It all goes downhill from there, but that's okay.
Dude, I wish
It
I
was
had
fun.
a I wish I had I've been wanting to get into like screen printing lately, just for like t-shirts, kind of limited run stuff, posters. Dude, we should do a screen printed all Lark poster. That would be so sick.
Yeah, man. I'd be down with that for sure. And it's been insanely busy for me in my life with some various things that are going on, and so haven't really done a whole lot of advertisement for this book, as anybody could probably tell. There was a couple weeks of some posts and then kind of goes from there. But it's been cool, man, just kind of getting the feedback from people and seeing, right, kind of where it's going, and even some people from across the pond in different places, right, out in the world that have grabbed a copy and shot a message. That's been really encouraging. And but yeah, if those of you listening, go to Amazon, drop a review. That helps. The reviews are that's how we that's how these companies put it in front of people who don't know who we are
Yeah.
and they're not familiar with this conversation. So if you need to lie on that review, like, just do so. Jesus will forgive you.
Need to lie and say the book sucked because you need to save face with your fellow elders. It's fine. We know the truth.
Yeah, we
We know the
do.
truth. We know deep down, your small group sucks. The church is boring. And you really, really, really know God is good. And you don't have to do 80% of the stuff you're doing. So if you have to lie and go on there and say it's lame, and heresy. It's fine. We'll forgive you. We might
Talking
find
to
your
you,
cell phone
Larry.
number. We might find your cell phone number and call you,
That is a true story. We
but
have done that.
we will forgive you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, we're talking to you, Larry.
Yeah, Larry.
You know who you are.
Frickin' Larry.
Oh
Larry.
man. Yeah. Yeah, it's out. And second edition will probably be out before too long. When
Can I share a
when I
non
make the
go
100, when I make the 100 edits. Go
can I
ahead.
share a non gospel story?
Yeah.
Can I share a vengeance is mine declares the Lord story? So my youngest daughter's in sixth grade. She's in a basketball league, fourth to sixth grade. So before the season starts, there's like an evaluation. All the coaches get in a room. The kids, they all have numbers and they just do like some basic stuff. Dribble down here, layup, dribble with your other hand, jump shot, do some lateral movement for defense, just so the coaches can get an understanding of where some kids are at before they draft. So I get to the draft and I'm like there on time barely. I like, you know me, dude. I don't, I got a coffee to go today, but normally I'm like just making my coffee at home. I got a mug, I got this sheet. I'm supposed to be doing evaluating. I had a long night the night before. I forget what I was doing. And I'm just kind of there. And I'm not really taking this too seriously because it's fourth to sixth grade girls basketball. I'm thinking my job as a coach is just to teach the fundamentals, create a cool atmosphere, make some friends with some parents in my community. And like, yeah, we're gonna fight, we're gonna compete. But dude, this isn't the NBA. This isn't the WNBA. So I sit down, I'm talking chatting with this couple, and the conversation is going great. They're like first time in the league. They're like asking me, what's this thing like? I'm like, yeah, this and that. It's my daughter's, first year, last year. This is what it's like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I don't have an assistant coach. And the wife was like, man, I was thinking about being an assistant coach. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Okay, who's your daughter? What number is she? Oh, that's her best friend. Okay, cool. Because I was just drafting Corinne's friends. I wasn't even trying to draft like the best team because I'm just more like, let's just have fun. And so I'm like, well, write your phone number down on this evaluation sheet and I'll give you a call. If I draft your daughter, you could be an assistant coach. So the husband's sitting in the middle of she and I. And he's been a part of the conversation the whole time. It's been great. So I hand the sheet over, and this guy goes, yeah, I don't know if I want this guy coaching my daughter. But he said it in a way that was just like, oh, I started laughing, this and that. I'm thinking, no, we're just having fun, like sarcasm. Love it. My love language. So she writes her phone number down, hands it back to him to on the way. So I hand it to him first time to way to her, and then she hands it to him back to me. He goes, yeah. He's like, I don't want you coaching my daughter. I'm like, what? I'm like, I looked him dead in the eye, and I was like, oh, you're being serious. He's like, yeah. And then he folds his hands, folds his arms, and his eyebrows get down. He goes, you're down here on these bleachers talking to me. You're not even taking this serious. All these other coaches are standing up evaluating these girls. Like, I don't want you coaching my daughter. And I'm like, okay, dude, whatever. Have a good day. And I just moved one seat over and just started finished drinking my coffee and doing my evaluation. So I definitely made sure to not draft her, right? So
Bro,
this is yeah,
this whole time I've been looking forward to you saying. So then I drafted her and I walked right up to him and I told him first, like, dude, Papa,
that would be
gonna have you
awesome.
part of this team.
It finishes better than that. The story finishes better. So I go home and I tell like Pam and I tell my parents and I tell everyone at work and I'm like, the only thing I want to accomplish this year is to beat this dude's kid's team. Not her, not the kid. I just want to beat this dude's kid's team, right? So I missed the first game of the year because I was at the Bengals Bears game, which was a freaking crazy game, highest scoring game in the NFL in Cincinnati. Total blast. We won this week, just this past week. Dude, I'm playing this team. And I get there early. He gets there early. We're the first two people to show up before the doors even open. And I'm like, all right, sweet. So their team was like, was actually very, very talented. But like we have a couple of like just scrappy girls on our team, like defensively. Do we snuck that win out 10-8, bro?
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Let's go, dude. Amazing. Dude, and the other coaches on the other team, they were getting so upset. One of them started arguing with the ref, and I'm just laughing.
Yeah, buddy. Just out there spreading that good news. There's some
Yep.
basketball cheer.
Oh, it was awesome.
Man, nothing like a good, just playing field where competition and pride and 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 some vengeance,
Some
right?
vengeance. I don't know
Can
how that
just
story fits into the world
coincide
of Lark,
together.
but it
Yeah.
was pretty sweet.
Well, it's probably just the total opposite of everything we believe, but it's but it's real.
It's real. It's real having to sit, just in the embarrassment of just your silly decisions, you
Yeah.
know, to assume that just because the only coach that's, sitting on the bleachers and just relaxing, not taking something seriously, not being so engrossed in this thing so as to like, oh my gosh, I need to draft the best team
Yeah.
to win this thing, and I'm just going to draft my kids' friends and just rock with whoever, I have and have fun. And we're just going to play really, really hard.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Just stick it to Jerry.
Stick it to him. His
Yeah.
name's Eric, actually. And I know that because after that happened, in between, so that I had a run in with him before the game last weekend. Parker's laughing. This dude that I've told this story like 100 times.
Well, you're very proud of this.
I'm very,
Because
very proud of this. This is a
yeah.
great story. So that happened where he's like, I don't want you drafting my daughter. And then we ran into him at a Jimmy John's. And I told these two that I work with, I was like, I think that that's him. So I found an excuse to go throw something away up by the counter just to run into him.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's up, man? How you doing? He's like, kind of was like, kind of taken back like this. And I'm like, oh man, what's up, man? I shook his hand. I'm like, I'm Tony, by the way. He goes, hey, I'm Eric. I'm like, oh, cool. Nice to see you, man. And then we like sat there in silence because you realize, yeah, we don't have anything to talk about because I was an absolute ass to you the last time we talked. And I was like, cool, dude, good to see you. And I just walked away. So yeah, his
Well,
name's Eric.
well, when you get to see Eric again, man, I'm sure you'll ask him how that game went. So, I know you were adamant about your daughter not playing on my team, man. How'd that work out for you, E?
It's
Oh,
all
bro.
love.
Well, not all love, but it's
Well, it's all
definitely
love after I got that win.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Once you're able to settle that pride dispute,
Oh,
you felt better, man.
it's bad. I
Well, it's
did.
real, is what it is.
It's real.
Yeah.
Yes.
And hopefully this is a podcast that people can tune into, man, and find uh not just, honesty about like what the good news really is, but even just some honesty about what life really is.
Just a bunch of
And
late 40-year-olds talking
learn,
about the
learning
satisfaction that comes from winning a fourth to sixth grade girls basketball game.
that's right. And what makes it even better is those and these guys were not actually that interested in trying to build some great team as much as just have fun with some kids and meet some families. But the minute somebody had to try to undo that,
Yeah,
That's when it was like, ooh,
that's what I'm
yep.
saying.
That's how I'm.
That's what
I'm
I'm saying.
wired the same way, man. Yep. I think that's
Yeah.
probably why we have a good friendship because I'm like the whole time you're telling that story, I'm like, dear God, please tell me y'all played and that you won.
Yes.
Or in the latter half of the story, because the first half of the story, I just wanted you to say it, so I picked his daughter.
Dude, I felt like that would I my personality is I would totally do something like that.
Yeah, but yeah, I
Um
get it.
just out of spite. But you gotta
It's the
I didn't
best.
want to have to deal with this dude all year long.
Yep. Well, man,
So that's it, dude. That's all I got.
it just is, right? What it is, dude. This is life. All of Lark is out, available at Amazon. If you want to learn more, go to larksite.com and you can learn a bit more about that there. Secondly, if you have grabbed a copy, please drop us a good review. That helps get it to more people. One quick thing, I just want to say this because I'm going to forget, but on the website under resources, there's an icon there that says this is not that. It's just like a series that I've been throwing some notes up on because there's been some people who have come and like, hey man, like in light of this, I've been thinking about, church or discipleship. You got anything that's like quick, that's like, a podcast? I'm like, well, yeah, man, you can go through the podcast. We've talked about this a lot. And so I've been sending out like a number of episodes, but I just started compiling some notes from like a scriptural standpoint because, there are those like, yeah, but what does the Bible really say this? Like, did Jesus really say that discipleship was this? Because my whole life I've been told it was this. Anyhow, that's all there right now for the
Nice.
taking. And one piece I just got to say that's on there that you would probably dig is it's called Origins. This is not that. I think the title of it's Origins, but that gets into like the whole backstory because that is the one thing I've heard from people from the church world about All Lark is I love everything you're saying and I feel like I'm seeing it from the scripture. I'm just wondering like where has this been? Because this is not in tune with what I feel like I've always known, or what people are saying is Orthodox Christianity.
Sure.
And I'm like, well, actually, what's in that book comes from what the first Christians were saying, the early church
Mm.
was saying.
Oh, I thought it was the origin story of like when we were at Exponential Conference and then we got confronted and pushed into a vat of chemicals and then we came out like these
Oh, yeah.
evangelical jokers.
Yeah, that was, well, that came afterwards, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was
that
like
was a
that
good
origin
day.
story.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we got here. But yeah, so anyways, if you're wondering like, man, how did this thing go off the rails and like what did the early, believers, what did they believe about this versus, what we've been handed? Kind of gets into the whole history of that. So anyways, just throwing that out there for you, for those of you who are a little more eager to connect some dots. That's there. That's available. Free
Nice.
for the taking from the jokers at Lark.
Cheers, fool.
Cheers, homie.
Nice pink mug.
Thanks. My wife got that.